In the digital age, data centers have become essential to the way we communicate. But the high-energy users are often met with opposition over potential strains to power grids. KRON4's Philippe Djegal takes us inside one of these facilities in San Jose.
Artificial intelligence may be the brain, but data centers are the nervous system of the digital world, connecting people and businesses in almost every facet of everyday life.
You as an individual, an end user, it's really invisible to you, but it's through a series of physical and virtual connections that allow us to live in the modern world.
Christopher Wellis is the Vice President of Sustainability at Equinix.
Whether you're on your cell phone, you get up in the morning, you're checking an app.
He takes us on a tour of Equinix SV5, a mixed web of fiber optics cables and computers.
This is all of the interconnectivity across all the companies that are operating within our International Business Exchange.
SV5 is one of 12 data centers in the Silicon Valley owned and operated by the global company founded in the Bay Area, a dimly lit temperature-controlled facility housing cages filled with processors owned and operated by mostly Fortune 500 companies.
We provide a neutral location for businesses, enterprises to connect with each other and transmit and transfer data.
The halls are intentionally dark to minimize overheating the high-powered equipment. The noise made by fans to keep the processors cool are certainly loud, but cannot be heard beyond the walls. And at Equinix, some of the heat emitting from the gear is recycled and used to generate power.
One of the things that you'll notice is these blanking panels here, these plastic panels. So we actually segregate the hot aisles from the cold aisles so that you're optimizing for temperature and cooling.
He says that reduces the amount of energy being consumed in a building like this.
Anywhere between 25 and 35 approximately % of the energy that goes into these facilities is to cool the facility.
But in reality, the rapid expansion of these data centers near communities have sparked criticism over large consumptions of energy and water, which Wellis understands.
The computers generate a fair amount of heat, but as you'll see when we go outside, Equinix is innovating the type of energy that we're actually producing, and much of it is produced on site.
He points to the Bloom fuel cells stationed in the back lot, solid oxide electrochemical devices that convert natural gas into electricity.
Currently 50% of the amount of power consumed by the computers in that building right there are powered by Bloom fuel cells. That was going to be ramped up to 100%.
Earlier this year, Equinix celebrated the grand opening of SV12X, the company's newest local data center and the byproduct of the City of San Jose's partnership with PG&E, an agreement reached between the city and utility, doubling power at a local substation, adding 2,000 megawatts of new transmission capacity to attract and accommodate large customers like Equinix.
We don't have that intermittency like you and I when we go home and we turn our AC on depending upon where we live. There are peaks and valleys in electricity usage, whereas a data center like this is up 24/7, providing a very consistent base load.
PG&E's expanded grid makes room for up to 15 data centers to come online by 2030, which is expected to save smaller customers like households money in the long run. PG&E says large power loads at data centers actually bring rates down for customers.
We are bringing in data from all around the world, transferring it at a local level and at a global level.
To date, Wellis says Equinix boasts 280 locations in 77 metro areas around the world, claiming the company is essentially within 10 milliseconds of 90% of the world's population.
What's powering the modern digital world is really data, and we need to transmit that data. Companies need to communicate with each other and transmit that data in order to do the work that's necessary to keep things moving.
He says you can almost think of a data center as an international airport of information. In San Jose, Philippe Djegal, KRON4 News.
Well, data center expansion has exploded across the country, and as we reported, they power a lot of our everyday lives. But a lot of communities don't want to live near them. An Amazon data center in Gilroy has recently been met with backlash. The concern is the 400,000 square foot building will result in high utility bills and drain resources like water. Landon Sepulveda with Stop Gilroy Data Center says this expansion puts profits over the well-being of people.
I do think it's a necessity, but there's a point where it stops being a necessity and is gluttony. Our biggest concerns is the usage of water, which will be pretty large for clean water, the usage of energy, which is going to be upwards of around 50,000 homes, and using this water and energy for something that isn't really helping anyone, and especially not helping anyone in Gilroy.
Sepulveda says communities like Gilroy are demanding full transparency about the local impacts of these data centers. But the city's mayor tells KRON4 the project is smart economic development. Well, data science experts say the rapid expansion of data centers is necessary to keep up with very high demand. As AI continues to surge, data centers remain the backbone of the internet and modern technology. San Jose State Assistant Professor of Applied Data Science, Vishnu Pendiala, says there are real trade-offs, though, to having data centers. While they are essential, the downsides include not using enough renewable or green energy. Pendiala says as demand for data centers grows, so does the debate over environmental impact.
So there is definitely a need in terms of technology, but in terms of environment, at this point of time, it is an expense. It is a cost that the civilization has to pay.
Well, Pendiala says there have been discussions about looking into solar to power these data centers. But in the meantime, environmental concerns from communities are legitimate.